What is the percentage of nitrogen in our atmosphere? Anyone? Anyone? 80%?
Is this best practice?
Well, it looks like Mr. Blackman needs to mix things up. Let's walk into this classroom and see what a blended learning classroom looks like. So here we have students working at their own pace, together collaboratively in groups on different activities. They have Chromebooks, they have science notebooks. This group right now is working on the scientific method. All right, so these students right now are working on an activity about the scientific method, and they're trying to identify variables and working together on that. And I have this group over here working on an extension activity. Blended learning means working at our own pace. We have one student over here taking an online test and another student watching a video on the scientific method. All right, guys, what are you working on right now?
The science project.
These students are taking an online test. Right now we have these students collaborating and working on a project together, and now they have shared their slideshow. They're making a presentation that they're going to give to the class. All right, so these students right now are working on an activity about the scientific method. Awesome. Is this fun?
Yeah.
Cool. Hello, my name is Stephanie Wagner. I work here at Portage North Middle School as a science teacher for 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. My grant request is for our science department to have a classroom set of 30 Chromebooks so I can implement a blended learning environment in our classroom. Blended learning is a form of instruction that involves mixing or blending of traditional teaching practices with that of multimedia tools that are located on the web. Last year, I had the privilege of attending a seminar that taught this educational approach and was able to pilot it in my classes. I was quite impressed with the outcomes of this new teaching and learning strategy. The first outcome I noticed was that students were more engaged in their lessons. The engagement resulted in fewer behavior problems. The next benefit I noticed was that students began to collaborate more effectively than they had in past using traditional grouping. I also noticed that students were now taking ownership of their learning. This resulted in a deeper understanding of the subjects taught, and assessment scores increased. There are other benefits as well. For instance, students who miss school can access their lessons and content. Parents can also access the content to see what their child is learning. There are other benefits as well. For instance, students who miss school can access their lessons and content. Parents can also access the content to see what their child is learning. Students gain 21st century skills. There is also a huge savings on copying costs due to the fact that blended learning instruction tends to be paperless. Students can no longer or will no longer lose their work or ask for extra copies as everything is online. In the end, I believe that blended learning is working for this generation of students as they are used to living out their lives online. To end with a quote, one student stated that this type of learning is just more natural for me. Thank you.